If you've ever been following some of my old channels, you would know that I used to follow the spiritual whistleblower before her channel sort of unraveled. Sort of, in a lot of ways, revealing her to be the very thing that the channel was focused upon overcoming, which was narcissistic abuse. And to me, in a sense, it really started to manifest in another way of, in the sense that she started to embody every aspect and characteristic of what you never want that disease to turn you into. She became a living manifesto of just that, the dark side of narcissism, and what it can truly do to the fabric of someone's mind, spirit, emotions, purpose, vision, and even the perception, meaning the way that the world would view you after that abuse. It's tragic. But she used to touch on the topic of certain traits and signs that you would be able to tell you were in the presence of a narcissist. I cannot remember every bullet point, but one that comes to mind is that they'll wear shades everywhere, indoors, outdoors, anytime, and much more frequently when they are conning, deceiving, lying. You know, they say the eyes are the window to the soul. And so to me, I agreed with that so much. I did, but I just felt like it wasn't an across the board thing, because on the other side of the spectrum, persons that have been narcissistically abused might do that same thing, but for completely different reasons, maybe as protection from ever being violated, or even perceived as someone easy to violate. You know, back in the day and in the South, we used to call big shades, dark shades, hater blockers, and ways of blocking negative energy and entities. Okay, so it wasn't just a one size fits all example. And sometimes I think when you're going to go into bullet points and checkpoints of anything, it has to be that no matter who you are and where you're from and what the circumstances might be, that this shit is going to apply. And so to me, I wanted to add on, not a bunch of bullet points, but one in specific that is the primary way I know, no matter who I am around, what is going on, or, you know, who I'm interacting with, that I am in the presence of a narcissist unquestioned, no matter their race, their sex. You know, this is the one way I've always been able to interpret, even dating all the way back to family and my mother included, is that they will never, ever, ever, whenever you're getting too deep and the conversation is getting too real, allow you to complete your sentence. They will always, always, always interrupt you, interject, and redirect, and a lot of times redirect the foolishness and distraction to fuck up and fuzzy up that thought, and where you become even to say something that might even cause you to become defensive, to forget your train of thought and your point, which might have revealed something about them. You see, those people, or a layer to them, those people have an issue with their reflection. And it's funny because the story of narcissists derived from a person who was obsessed with their image. But see, in the way that the narcissist on a spirit level is identified today is not just by an obsession with their physical appearance. It is their self-idealized appearance that a lot of time do not coincide with their actual selves. And so when you start to show them that, to speak too much on that, to be too honest in that way, it is a threat to everything. They risk injury, you know, collapse. And so they will frantically panic and throw anything in the mix and emotion to redirect that conversation. They are conversational bullies. Okay? If you are articulate, well-spoken, you relay your point really well, you will be a threat and threat as such. Meaning that you could be expressing yourself as calmly as I'm doing right now, no cursing, no belligerence, and that is how they will respond, in the most belligerent, ignorant, a lot of times loud. This is what I mean, bully, to intimidate you out of your truth. And I don't care who it is that's doing it. That's what they're showing you from the first point of contact. A lot of the times, if you pay attention, whether it's shown at the beginning, the middle, the end, pay attention to thought police and bullies and people that make you feel like there are things you cannot speak on freely, that you don't have your freedom of speech, more importantly, even the freedom of thought. And clear those rooms, leave those people, even going in peace, for the sake of your sanity. There is so much more that could be said, but I think that I will leave that particular topic right there. The other day, I bought this. This is a cologne that my mother used to wear, Elizabeth Taylor White Diamonds. I met a white man in a CVS store that I was going to be purchasing some razors. He started talking to me about everything that he owned, all of his businesses. He offered to buy my razors, and as we were working our way to the register, he attempted to walk out of the store with the merchandise. This was after the clerk had came and opened up the case, because the whole store is sort of encased, and attempted to walk out of the store. The clerk said, "Hey, sir." From there, only did he turn around and come back and pay for that merchandise, claiming to me that I should have walked quickly behind him and just walked out with him, because he does that all of the time. He's a millionaire, and these are the people that deserve to suffer anyway, the rich and the wealthy. It's not a problem with what he did. And so as he purchased those items, I'm aghast, but I have a way of remaining calm in situations. I saw a package right behind him of white diamonds. I said, "Hey, that's how much is that?" And the clerk wouldn't even respond to me. It seemed like she was so appalled. And he looked at that and said, "Hey, that's cheap. That's nothing. I'll get you better things in the future." And the first thing I said is, "Oh, well, that has sentimental value to me." And he was like, "What?" And I said that was the cologne that my mom used to wear. This was her favorite perfume. And in truth, it was. And I thought of it at that moment, like, what was so special about this perfume to her? And Elizabeth Taylor, I think that she idealized rich, old, status, wealthy white women. That's why she used to watch soap operas. And always had that side to her that, those wishes, that fantasy, that maybe she could only live out through soap operas. Smells hold power. And so, again, that was her hopes and dreams and ambitions, that this man just said, "Oh, well, that's a cheap perfume." And so I told him that. And from there, he was like, "Oops, let me buy it." He paid $50 and bought me the pack. And so, this is in honor of my mommy. I have been wearing it. And when smells are so powerful, so intuitive to memory, will trigger memories for better or worse. And when my mother used to dress up, that was a beautiful memory. Sometimes we used to go to work. So this smell inspires me and it motivates me. It makes me feel powerful as a woman. Maybe I'll never have those dreams that she had of being an old rich white woman, but I understand them. And I understand that side of her actually now. And so I've been feeling really sentimental wearing her scent. Okay. I might come back for a part 2. That's neither here nor there. After that, I parted ways from that guy, but I just found it interesting that he would even feel comfortable to have done that to and with me. And I think that other races of men sometimes think that the things that they would never do with their own women, that they can actually get away with because you're black. And if I had in any way co-signed that, I think it would have been opening up the box of Pandora with this man. And he would have felt like he could have done, said, and, sort of anything, and that it would have been okay. I'm just a poor black girl. Food stamps have been canceled. Public assistance is halted. And so, black women, we better be fucking aware, because this knowledge is very much out there, and the most predatory of predators are chomping at the bits. They're foaming at the mouth. They're setting traps to certain things that I'm seeing. They can't wait for you to hit the streets.